Britain is known for a lot of things: beans on toast, dodging teenagers in balaclavas, and of course our great success in football. Well, at least the women's team have great success in football, sorry lads. I bet you didn't know that the Lionesses actually have their main stadium in Kingsmere. After the construction of the financial district, a wealthy investor from that industry decided he wanted to give back to the city. His way of doing that was funding a brand new stadium for England's Lionesses and investing in the future of women's football. The investor, DM Skopje, thoroughly contributed to the team's success in winning the Euros and provides a ground for them to play for years to come. Let me show you how it was built. Welcome to Kingsmere, a UK-inspired town with a sprinkle of my own creativity. In this series, we're focusing on building a British-inspired city from the ground up. We're mixing the UK region pack with a few custom assets to hopefully create somewhere nice to live. If you enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe. You can also become a channel member for early access to new videos. Big shout out to DM Skopje on this one for the new asset release. Let's have a look. So in case you missed the last video, we built this kind of financial district here alongside the water with some taller buildings, some nice kind of riverside areas and stuff like that. All looks quite delightful. But yeah, the theme for this video, we're going to try and focus on this area a little bit. And as you probably gathered by the intro, we have got exclusive access to an unreleased stadium from DM Skopje. So let's have a little look at that. We'll have a little look. So in this section here, you'll see that we've got Tamela Stadium. It's actually from Finland, but we're going to pretend that this is in Britain, and it's a pretty cool stadium. It's got 15,000 capacity if you're going to sit around, and then it's obviously got 8,000 unobstructed seats. So it's a smaller stadium compared to his previous asset of Anfield, which we've actually got over here, which is our kind of men's club, the men's football team. Oh, autosave. But yeah, so let's go over and have an actual look at this asset. I'm going to place it down here so we can have a proper look at it, and then we'll explain about what we're going to do with it. So let's click this down. And it's a rather unique looking asset, as you can see. It is a football stadium. Looks pretty awesome. Smaller capacity, as you can obviously see here. It's not absolutely huge. And funnily enough, it's got kind of hotels slash apartments slash shops all on each side, which is really interesting. It's not often that you see something like that. But this is kind of like the perfect size to be our kind of women's football stadium. It's slightly smaller than the Anfield one. It just kind of fits that sort of vibe a little bit. You can actually upgrade this. You can basically extend the edges so that it's like an apartment or more hotels. We're not going to use that extension for our build, however it is there should you wish. It does look pretty cool, and I do like it. And let's just have a little look at the stats. Obviously you can see here, Tamela Stadium by DM Skopje. Thank you for letting us have exclusive early access to this asset. 160 households, 133 employees, attractiveness 111, which is all good, and then just your normal stuff. So yeah, pretty cool. So we're going to be using that to be our Lionesses Stadium, which is really exciting. So where we're going to place the stadium, my thoughts are actually here, which is a bit of a rogue one, and it doesn't look like there's enough space. But I'm going to give it a go and see what happens, because you never know. A couple changes since the last video, nothing too crazy, but I've just added this as an asymmetrical road to allow more people to come in. I've changed the lanes so people only use the lanes as they should, and then I've added a crossing over here. For some reason, I did delete these fences, but they seem to have come back, which is a little bit annoying, because I wanted a footpath that you could get over and across to these sections, because I had people running across the motorway or A6, so that was not ideal. And I've added a few bits of bike parking within there as well to allow for more people to bike in. But first things first, I want the stadium to be here in this section. I think it would be quite good. It's not too overpowering here, right sort of vibe. So obviously you could just place against here, but I'm kind of want to have it set back a little bit. We'll have some parking from some new parking lots that I found, and we'll use that as well. So yeah, this sort of area will be where our women's football stadium is for the city, which is quite exciting for us. So yeah, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these trees, and I draw back this surface ever so slightly. You can see I've already flattened it out a little bit more, because we are going to be quite tight for space here. So I'll do that first, and then we'll formulate a plan. Okay, so I've done that. I've also had to get rid of the bus stop from this side just for the time being, while we kind of formulate a plan of how we're going to create some access to this. And this is not going to be the craziest build ever, of course. Don't have much space to work with, but we can see what we can do. So first things first, let's have a little look about how tight up against the edge we can get. Because it is very much a very tight squeeze, but we want to try to have as much space as possible, and yeah, it's going to be a very, very, very tight squeeze, isn't it? So we're going to do our absolute best, which is probably actually going to be, we'll only be able to really fit around here, because that starts to turn in. And obviously we're really close to this road as well, which is a bit annoying. But we can only kind of do what we can do. We can only fit in what we can fit. Okay, alright, that gives us a bit of an idea of the size, which is going to be difficult. But also what I wanted to use is these modern parking lots. So as you can see, there's a few different types, like this, like this, like this, and there's this big one which kind of nearly fits here pretty well, as you can see. I say nearly because it doesn't fit perfectly, but I think this would be quite a nice sort of entrance for our stadium. I think it'd be quite a cool little place, plenty of places for people to park up on the way in, of course. But we do need to switch out some of those trees, because I don't think it's very realistic to have palm trees in Britain, don't you think? So we might grab them, and maybe we'll grab some birch ones and just have a few of these just placed where they were, which I believe was pretty much like this, just between the bushes. So we'll replace those over just like that, nice and easy, and that should kind of go back to how it was looking. Down here there's a little bit of a problem. There's a little bit of a white line just hovering there, which we really want. I'm not sure if we can actually get to that, which is a little bit annoying, so we might just have to ignore that. But as you can see, people are parking here already, probably because there's a zero parking fee, which is ideal for everyone really. And then the next thing, because our stadium actually needs a road, we're going to have to put a road basically behind this, and probably this might actually just be our really poor entrance for our traffic, just here. And then in theory we want the stadium behind there, kind of with the centre bit facing down this nice walkway, would be the dream. To be fair, it doesn't do too bad. Doesn't do too bad. So if we just fiddle around with that a little bit, hopefully we might be able to have our stadium. Is that about central? I would say so. I'd say that that's about as central as we're going to get it. At least it's as central as we can to that car park. And then we need to hook up our water and electric. I think the electric's already good, so we'll just bring the water and hook that up into there. Oh, autosave. It's quite a nice looking stadium, isn't it? It's certainly more modern than like the Anfield Stadium and stuff like that, and it's not too big, so we can kind of get away with having it. I think that looks really cool. Okay, we just need to kind of figure out how we're gonna make this work, because this is, I admit, this is way too tight. There's not enough room here, not enough room at all. So I don't know what to do about that section. So I'm gonna have a little mess around and see what we can do. If we can't do anything, then we can't. It is what it is, but we'll try our best. So there's a lot of changes that are required down here. It's just causing carnage, as you can probably tell. So I've changed this road away from the highway to a kind of an avenue instead. Still with a separation in the middle, so still a dual carriageway with obviously the separation here. Added a small car park on the back here, but what I'm trying to do, because I just saw loads of pedestrians all just walking down the highway hard shoulder, which is not really the ideal thing to be doing on a 70-mile-an-hour, road. So now if you want to walk in the road, it's only 50. Cool. But I'm just trying to figure out the right sort of layout so that we can potentially just allow more space down here, if you know what I mean. So that looks like it allows a little bit more space, but if we widen that sidewalk, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. Yeah, so it's difficult trying to get this all right and all sorted, to be honest. It's quite hard work. But we'll just continue, and we'll just continue to persevere and hope that we'll try to make it work. So widen that out. We'll just widen all of that out as well. At least then we've got a nice sort of sized sidewalk. Why am I calling it a sidewalk? It's definitely a pavement, by the way. Definitely. This is still the A6, so we need to change that back to the A6. 6.1 kilometers in length. I actually didn't realise it said this before. That's pretty cool. So I'm not sure if widening that has made it look any nicer. Not sure, but we'll probably have to widen this side as well anyway. Or we can have the centre nice and wide. I'm kind of undecided. Let's try what the centre looks like. It looks alright, but doesn't really do much for us either way. Us widening this bit of pavement doesn't actually help, does it? It doesn't actually look like it's giving us more space as such. It just, don't know actually. Not sure. So what I might do is just widen each side here, just like that, to keep it somewhat in line. And we'll allow that to open back up underneath the bridge. And we'll just have a little look and think about how this is. Because I'm not entirely convinced. I might have to get rid of this retaining wall. And just bring that out for a bit of symmetry-ish. Yeah, I don't know. I will probably decide on that at some point randomly when I look at it and be like, tear it down, or yeah, that's great. So we'll figure that out at a later date. I'm just planning out having some sort of pedestrian overpass just to make it a little bit safer for all of our fans that are crossing over. So I'm just kind of checking out some ideal placements for these. Autosave, fantastic. Whenever I start talking, it autosaves because the game hates me. But hey ho. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a nice little place for an overpass. Potentially there would be alright. I did want one down here, but the problem that we have is they are quite large. And if we were to have it like here, you'd eat into quite a bit of the car parking space, or at least one of the space. In fact, the only space in this row that really has a car in will just put a massive hole in his bonnet and pin him there for the rest of his life. So we could do it. Are we going to impress that driver? Probably not. So who knows whether we should do that or not. Maybe I should just say YOLO, place it down and see how it looks. Oh, would you look at that? That's exactly what I've done. So I'm thinking, is that too much? Having 2? Or do we think that's probably reasonable? If I would say that that is... Oh, I don't know if that is reasonable or not. Is that too much? I mean, this is much smaller, but this is quite a buggy one. It doesn't work out as well as everything else. But we could put it there, because we could just whack it like that. It's a lot smaller. Should we put it down and see what happens? The problem with that one is it's just a pain to try and actually hook up to the paths and stuff, but we'll put it down and just see what happens. I think at certain angles as well it just disappears, he says, as it doesn't disappear at all. That one up there certainly disappears at certain angles, he says, as it doesn't disappear. Just believe me, trust me, bruh. So we've got that little pedestrian path, and that's a big one. I don't know. Don't know what I want. We could have either or. That one is rather big, isn't it? But at least it's harder to jump off into my dual carriageway from that bridge because it's enclosed. This one, not so much. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure. Not sure. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nedman must be so hungry. Actually, no. I've just eaten. But I've placed down all of these various fast food takeaway sort of places because we want to place them near this stadium, because why would you not want to smash out some dirty meat after you've... Oh, wait, actually, I'm going to stop that sentence there. We've got Starbucks, KFC, Wendy's, a Whataburger, Mackie D's and Taco Bell, which we want to try and fit into this little area here, just as like a little services sort of area where you can grab a bite to eat after the football game, etc. So we're going to try our best to try and fit those in. Now we're just Britanifying the roads just to put as many holes and cracks in them as possible. If you've driven on the roads recently, you can relate. I've nearly lost so many tyres to the roads. One of them, it didn't puncture the tyre, but it smashed out the whole sensor from the impact, the wheel speed sensor, so I had to get that replaced. Not ideal. So yeah, shout out to the local councils on this one. We're trying to relive real life here by putting holes and crap on the roads. So yeah, ideal. That's probably gonna do relatively nicely. We don't need too much because this is all like a relatively new-ish development. So we don't want it completely destroyed. Wow, that's a busy car park now. Look at that. That's chaos. But yeah, the stuff that we could fit. We got a Mackey's. We got the Taco Bell, which I need to change the trees on. I completely forgot about that until just then. Oh, it's just the one tree actually. If it's in Hot Fuzz, you'll get that. You'll understand that quote. You can go in there, and then yeah, seems right. Plenty of food, plenty of takeaways. I love a Taco Bell in real life. Ooh, bang bang. But yeah, it's doing okay. We filled in that kind of weird section that we had relatively nicely. Very nice looking stadium. Again, shout out to DM Scopio on that one. That's beautiful. And it's kind of the right size to be our kind of women's team's football as well, which is great. It's really scaled quite nicely, which is fantastic. And it's not too overpowering either. It kind of just sits there and fits in pretty nicely. So yeah, we'll take that. I'm just debating what we do here now, because it's quite a nice looking building to be able to see. So I'm just trying to think to myself what we want to do. Yeah, look how busy these car parking spaces are. Wow, I'm clearly not charging people enough for these, eh? Clearly not. Go on, give me a few quid for my brand new car parks that we've invested in. Give me some dollars. And you don't think you can escape from the money king? Right. think about what we're going to do here. So my initial thoughts for this area are transport. So I'm thinking maybe like bus station and train station. But the problem that I'm having is bus station will be fine, no dramas. Train station, trying to get the train line in here. Obviously we've got this section where we can just basically draw it straight down. But we're going to struggle to get it back round into kind of central Kingsmere. Just due to the angle. For example, if I show you, let's say that we want it to be hooked up around here. I'm not sure many people that are going to fancy whipping their train round this corner. Well, not just this corner, this sloped corner. So I think that's probably going to be a no-go. I don't think we're going to be able to get the train around there. We also need to bin off all this parking. What's going on here? Stop that. What should we do? We'll do you. Get out of here. So we're going to have to kind of bin off the idea of turning it that way. We could just have it as an outside connection, and to be honest with you, you might recall a few episodes ago where I mentioned Blackwood and the Blackwood Forest and all that stuff. We could just use it as a connection straight to there, and the outside connection, and it could just drop in here. Alternatively, probably well, I don't know about this option, but we could autosave. We could run a train line kind of across here and then somehow try and find our way into this point down here. But again, it's going to be a pretty disgusting angle that we might really struggle with. So train wise, I am struggling a bit, I'll admit. I'm not sure how we're going to thread that through, which is a bit of a shame really, but you know, it is what it is. All we can do is try, so I might just mess around with it a little bit and just see what we kind of end up with, because we want that to hook into there, but we're just never gonna get it quite right, are we? Even if we start maybe at this angle and try to draw that out so that it's in line like that. Yeah, it's just not playing ball. Hard work. Decisions. This is why you plan your transport beforehand, because you end up like me, looking like a bit of a silly boy. Oh well. Well, you can't say that I haven't tried. I've certainly tried my best, but it just doesn't look good at all. You can kind of... It's just too many tight turns for a train. And I don't think it's realistic, so... I think we're going to scrap that idea of having it run across over here. It just doesn't work. Which is a little bit annoying, but... It is what it is. It is what it is. At least that we've tried, and we won't sit here wondering what it will look like. We've given it a good old go. So what I might do instead is have a bus station, train station, just have a single line kind of going outwards. So at least we have our train station. And when we have Blackwood developed and the industry up there, we can still have people coming in from the town just to visit, you know what I mean? So that's what we're going to do. So first things first, I'm going to find a bus station, actually. I'm going to try a bus station first. I'm going to pick a bus station that could potentially go here. I do like this one. Let's just have another look at it, though. I mean, it's nice, isn't it? It is nice. And it could work there, but we need to have like a good combo of bus and train station to make it kind of be good. I mean, this is a nice small train station. Not too overpowering. It won't obstruct the view of the stadium from the water, which is great. And it's only got one line, which is also great. We just need to kind of dead end it at the end. So that's an option. There's this one, which is a bit more old. Medium train station. Meh. Doesn't really look too old for me. Too big. Terminus station. I mean, would be cool, but I think that's just too big for what we're trying to do here, not gonna lie. I think that's way too big. Let's just place it down and just have a look. Yeah, I think that's just way too big. We're not gonna have 2 lines coming here, we're just gonna have 1. So we'll get rid of you, and then let's have a little look through the rest. We've got this one. It looks alright, pretty basic. Not too bad at all, but I don't think it really fits the theme down here. This one's awesome, but we've already got it just up the road over there. This is another one. Again, looks beautiful, but too big for what we want. Nice local train station. Let's just have a little look. Which can be upgraded with various things, but again, too large. So I think probably the first one from PDX Mods is probably going to be our best bet. Because there aren't really any others. So maybe we'll consider using this one as our train station. And let me just go through the bus stations again as well, because that's cool. It looks very nice, but I just want to make sure we're not missing any others, which would be quite good. There's a severe lack of bus stations in this game, I must admit. And the best one is the modded one. So yeah, we'll keep that. So we're just moving also. We're just moving this one slightly just to make it a little bit more central with the tickets. As you can see, hopefully. What I might do actually is just potentially just bring a little road out here. Just to allow the access off of the thing. You know what I mean? Off of the thing. Is that nice and crystal clear about what I mean? I'm sure it is. Like just having like a one-way alley or something like that. Maybe just placed like a block back. Can we bus lane these is the question. No, which is upsetting. To say the least, upsetting. We don't really want it that big though. That's the thing. I mean, we could use a highway, but then with the highway we don't have road access, so it's a bit meh meh meh. All of these little things are very annoying. So that would be fine. And you can read that up. But when you place the bus station, it's going to say, there's no roads. Just talking rubbish, talking a load of rubbish. So, yes. As you can see, there is no road connection, which is a little bit annoying. So we might actually have to just settle with hooking him up, unless we can think of anything else that could potentially work, because that's just too large in my opinion, and it just doesn't look very nice. Same with that. What about this? Potential. Again, I don't really know what's going on over this side, because we kind of want that to be... There's not really much that we can do to... Okay, that makes it a little bit more bussy, but then it's lot going to be ramping over the pavement, aren't they? Decisions, I hear you say. I think potentially we'll just have to hook this up right onto the road and go from there, because the ball's not balling, the roll is not rolling, the game's not gaming. So we'll pick you a little bit more central to the ticket office. Probably about there will do. And then what we need is just a little alley behind, hooked onto the back of this, just like that for the time being, just to allow us to put our lovely train station right on the back of there. Probably, where do we want it? Nice and central. Let's just have a little look at it first, shall we? Yeah, it looks alright. We just have to do a little jigging around with the surfaces. Maybe we should actually have the Why is that so keen to create space? Surface space. I think that's alright. I wonder if we can recolor the roof. We can, which is good. Ah, that's better. That's better. That looks more disgusting like England, where they just build everything and say, oh, we have to make it as ugly as possible, so let's change everything to a dull colour, which is exactly what I've done. So no dramas there. No dramas there at all. Cool, we need to figure out what we're doing with this surface, because that surface is grim. So we'll replace you. Not sure about the grass either. We kind of want that to be some sort of concrete. Some sort of concrete surface. What's synthetic grass? How have I not seen that before? So maybe if we grabbed... Oh, but these are problematic as well. There was a few new surfaces with the French pack, but I don't know where they're living at the minute. So maybe we'll just go with the UK pack, grab this. Is this going to paint over the top? Okay, it's not. That's good. That's good. So yeah, we could probably use that surface just along here. And then that'll look like it's more complete. If you know what I mean, yeah. I need to get rid of these trees as well. And there. Cool, so I'll do that and then I'll bring you back. So outside the train station, I'm going to add a few statues just to fill in some empty gaps, essentially. So we're going to just place a few of these around here, just on the outside, because, you know, if you've ever walked around London, there are statues like everywhere, all based around the history and stuff like that. And this would be quite a unique point for the station. So like people will come here and be like, oh, let me look at the statues, let me read what the plaques say, all that good stuff. So it would just be quite a nice, unique sort of area to come to. So it's not just a plain old boring train station. So it'll be all of these cool looking statues all the way along the front, all representing different people from points in history, which I can't think of off the top of my head, but you know what I mean. It's just a nice, unique kind of theme to have, which I think would be awesome. So that looks cool. I've hooked up this pedestrian walkway with these pathways here. I've put invisible paths underneath so that they connect up to the train station, etc., which is great. We've got, obviously, filled this in with a little bit of grass. We should probably add some sort of fencing around that bit, just to kind of cover it off a little bit. So let's find something, even if it's just like that, really. Or maybe like this along here. I think that could potentially work. So if we started it about there, right at the end would be great, but for some reason it doesn't like to play ball. So whack that across here all the way down there. Boom, boom, boom. That should go in there. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do with these bits, to be honest with you. Not entirely sure. I'm gonna have to think about that one and then come back, because yeah, there's a lot of space to kind of do and fill. So a few more changes have been made. Autosave straight away. Come on, get a grip. So we've got these cool plazas from PDX Mods placed around here, just on kind of the outskirts here, which look pretty cool. Over on the other side, again, a few more parks, a little bit more greener this side, but nevertheless looking pretty good. plenty of people going up on our overpass, which is great to see. Bus station has changed a little bit. See if you can spot the difference. And then our statue train station over here, we've got all of these, then we've got the pots and the trees within them. A little overbridge going across, connecting over to the other side. A nice cycle path and a footpath connecting to the quay. What are you lot doing over here? Whatever. And then over on this side, again, a few more pots and stuff along here. I've connected invisible paths so pedestrians can walk all around this area. And we've got some thicker footpaths connected with some smaller thin ones. And it's going to be like a riverside park sort of area. Just some like open space so that we don't impede the view of the stadium, which looks unbelievable. What a view of that stadium we've got over here. That is beautiful. And let's say we're on the other side of the river. It's just very unique. It looks very, very, very nice. I'm super happy with how that looks. So let's bring you up to speed, shall we? So I may or may not have been told off in the comments a few times for just putting trees everywhere. So I've tried to lighten up the load of trees around this park area. Just a few dotted around so that there's still places for people to sit and enjoy the sun. We've added a few things: tennis court, little five-a-side pitch, small pavilion with a few tables outside to chill and get a snack. Within the centre we've got these random things just to add another little bit of uniqueness. Look at that stadium. Wow. Wow, 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 that's beautiful. If we zoom out a bit, you'll see that we've got a couple new buildings just to fill in some of the gaps, but that is looking pretty beautiful. Oh, I love the way that looks. That looks really, really good. Obviously we haven't set up any train lines yet, we haven't set up any buses yet. We need to do that, so that will come probably soon in a minute. And we also need to try and fill in this space as well, so lots to do still, but I would say that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Given the fact that we have such limited space, I think we've done alright to fit all of that into there, so not bad at all. Not bad at all. Yeah, good. Fantastic. Right, I might set up the buses and then set up some trains and then give it a bit more life to it. More people will start walking over this part of the world. And there we have it, a little bit more progress. So we've got buses and trains going in and out, which is great. A few people using them, not too many, but hey ho, every little helps. And then out here we've just developed a few office buildings by the avenue, and then a few kind of apartments alongside the river. So I can imagine it'd be quite a nice place to live. Yeah, and it's not too bad. Fire station down there as well, because we don't have much fire coverage for this section. But yeah, looks pretty good if you ask me. I'm happy with that. This is my favourite view. I deliberately left all of this kind of clear so that you get that good view of the stadium, and it is fantastic. Let's zoom out and see what the kind of city looks like, or this section looks like now. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, happy with that. That looks spot on. Cool. We need a name for the stadium. So we actually need a name for both, because obviously Anfield is a new stadium. It's still called Anfield. So in the comments, I need you to say men's and then the stadium name, and then woman and then the stadium name, so we can name each of the stadiums. That would be absolutely fantastic. A name for each. But yeah, looks good. Autosave just for you. You're welcome. Looks pretty good now. Kingsmere is popping. It's massive. Look at the size of it. Absolutely ginormous. Wow. To think about where we started, just over there at this cricket pitch, to look about where we are now, huge, but nice. I'm really proud of that. That's pretty good. We've still got loads of ideas and stuff to do though, so watch this space. But nevertheless, wow. Let's get a cinematic into this chat, boy. And there we have it. our brand new stadium, which hosts the Women's England team for their training and their adventures. And what a beautiful stadium it is. I've got to thank DM Scopio for giving me early access to this stadium. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to see what other stadiums or assets you bring to the game. So thank you very much. Thank you. Viewers, let me know what part of Kingsmere you want me to build next. If you've got any ideas, then feel free to let me know. I'm all ears, and I read every comment, as you can probably tell, because I put a lot of the suggestions into the game. But nevertheless, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your support, especially when I'm really busy and can't create content. You guys are there and you tell me it's fine, and you appreciate what I'm doing. So thanks a lot. Have a wonderful evening, and good night.